Tonight, a busy time for Port Pirie Police ahead of the Easter break. And Whyalla Council looking for a new operator for the Foreshore Cafe.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, the Far West Local Health District has responded to the 4 deaths from a COVID outbreak at St Anne's Nursing Home in Broken Hill. They have also given their weekly update on numbers as residents try to get back to normal.
A tough time for Broken Hill. CEO Umit Agus says they are working with St Anne's staff to help them through this difficult period after the nursing home recorded 4 COVID-19 deaths this week.
We are in constant contact with St Anne's management, providing them with support wherever possible.
Overall, numbers in the Far West are down by 34, with the 7-day rolling total now sitting at 534. However, it is the surrounding towns that have seen a drop in numbers, while Broken Hill has held steady at 416. With events such as the Monday Bash coming up, Mr Agus warns there may be a spike.
But we do expect a spike in numbers, and we believe that we have the systems in place to be able to manage.
Authorities are taking further precautions for those events, including making their presence known at the racecourse campsite, where some travellers will be staying.
We'll make available up to 4,000 rapid antigen test kits, just to make sure that people who have symptoms can test themselves.
Vaccine numbers in the 5 to 11-year-old age bracket are still struggling to reach the levels officials want. The CEO says that they are trying to reach those parents and tell them that the vaccine is safe. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
It's been a busy week for police officers across the Mid-North and York Peninsula, handing out hefty fines and making multiple arrests. Police also warning residents they will be out in force this Easter long weekend. Our reporter Christian Komenos has the details.
It was last week when police made 2 separate arrests after finding large amounts of cannabis across 3 different locations. On Wednesday, police were attending a job when they smelled the drug coming from a home in Risdon Park. Police allegedly found a large commercial quantity of cannabis, 8 mature plants and hydroponic equipment. A 62-year-old man was arrested and charged with drug trafficking and possession and was bailed to appear in court in May. On Friday, in an unrelated matter, police in Port Broughton also detected a strong smell of cannabis coming from a house. Patrols allegedly found 2 plants in the yard and 3 kilograms of dried cannabis throughout the house. And on the same day, police also searched a house at Hamley, where they allegedly found 1 kilo of cannabis, scales and paraphernalia. A 61-year-old man was arrested and charged with trafficking and was bailed to appear in the Kadina court in August. Meanwhile, 2 P-platers were caught hooning in Port Pirie over the weekend. Police caught a Toyota Hilux allegedly doing a burnout along 3 Chain Road, and another Mitsubishi sedan was also caught hooning in the same location. Each driver was reported and both vehicles were impounded for 28 days. Holiday makers will be targeted over the next 5 days as police conduct a major safety operation across the state.
Meanwhile, Barrier Police District officers are urging Broken Hill motorists to avoid driving whilst tired. They will be monitoring the 4 Ds over the Easter long weekend. Motorists are urged to take a break if feeling fatigued while out on the highway. Police are warning motorists they will be caught if they also drive under the influence, drive dangerously, or are distracted by a device. Members of the community are also asked to contact Crime Stoppers if they witness dangerous driving. The Whyalla City Council is on the lookout for a new operator for the popular beach cafe, with the current tenants opting out. Smoky Uppercuts say the cafe model is not suitable for their business plans at this time.
A new direction for a much-beloved eatery on Whyalla's foreshore. The City Council announcing Smoky Uppercuts will transition out of being the operators for the beach cafe, just months after taking on the role.
We'll be calling for an operator to run the new temporary cafe pod, as opposed to the cafe building.
In a statement, owner Dylan Lastoffer said the cafe model is not a good fit for them at this time, adding the company's vision and aspirations have changed and they are keen to grow and evolve Smoky Uppercuts. Council CEO Justin Commons thanking the business for what they have done so far.
Council believes that the community has responded well to the offering they've provided, and we wish them well with their future endeavours.
A plan is now being developed to ensure no disruption is made to the cafe's operations. In addition, the new operators will work out of a temporary pod next to the existing Beach Cafe premises.
This is one of the former Clipsal 500 corporate pods that some residents will be familiar with if they've attended those sorts of events in the past.
The expression of interest document will be uploaded to the council's website in the coming days. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, the Senate Road Sports Complex redevelopment hits a rough patch, and calls grow for both major parties to make fixing our region's health crisis an election priority. Welcome back. A thief in Port Pirie has been caught green-handed after allegedly stealing rolls of lawn from the sports complex on Senate Road. The fresh new grass was being rolled out as a part of the long-awaited upgrade to the Oval. Christian Komenos has more.
They say the grass is always greener, but that wasn't the case for this thief. On Sunday and Tuesday night, a 45-year-old man entered the sporting complex and allegedly stole rolls of lawn that was being used to replace a large section of the Oval. Police obtained CCTV footage of the area and were able to identify the suspect. They went to the suspect's home and found the stolen rolls of lawn laid out along the property. The man was arrested and charged with theft and a breach of bail. He was bailed to appear in the Port Pirie Magistrates Court next month. The council were unable to comment on the incident today, but they did put up a Facebook post thanking the community for their support in helping the police with their investigation. Members of the public had previously inquired about buying the turf offcuts from the grounds. The upgrade has previously been highly publicised.
It is actually something that we will be proud of in the end, and looking forward to making sure that we have a lot more sporting carnivals and some of our sports people can actually turn around and practice to a higher level.
The complex will be able to host baseball, softball, cricket and soccer when it's completed later this year.
The Royal Australian College of General Practitioners has launched its federal election platform, with improving services across the country top of their list. They're calling for more investment to attract GPs to rural and regional areas like the Spencer Gulf.
A call to ensure patients living in regional and rural areas are not left out of this year's election. The Royal College of General Practitioners launching their federal election platform, saying general practice in the regions needs a much-needed shot in the arm.
We certainly want to see a focus from both governments on reversing the trend in GPs leaving the rural and remote areas.
They're calling for whoever is elected to retain telehealth rebates for patients who need longer consultations via the phone. In addition, they also want more incentives and additional payments for GPs who use advanced skills such as mental health or pediatrics in rural areas.
We have an absolute shortage and an absolute need for GPs now out in our rural areas. It is going to take a financial investment. It is going to take recognition that they do need to incentivise the work out there.
The member for Grey agreeing with the group's call for more doctors.
We need more doctors, and we have done an enormous amount financially, at least over recent years, trying to cement more doctors, attract more doctors.
An incentive to scrap the HECS debts of recent graduates over a 5-year period, one of many steps Mr. Ramsey says the federal government is doing to solve the issue.
I'm pushing on about 6 different levers at once, trying to achieve outcomes, a higher differential for payments for regional doctors as opposed to metropolitan doctors.
Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Seafood operators have been kept on their feet for the busiest day of the year as people stocked up on fish ahead of Good Friday. SD Caputo and Sons in Port Pirie doing a steady trade today as customers made their Easter purchases. Store management says they're expecting to sell around half a tonne of fillets in just the one day.
Peeling prawns, cooking prawns, opening oysters. The smoked fish has been going the smoke box has been going all week, smoking fish. We've got girls crumbing fish pretty much all morning or whatever as well to keep up with the crumb fish demand.
They also say prawns, garfish, King George whiting, smoked salmon and kingfish are among this Easter's biggest buys. Stay with us after the break. South Australia ranked as a mining hotspot. And a Broken Hill publishing company launches its first ever publication. While a city council is reminding residents to keep their bins out if their normal collection day is tomorrow. As Good Friday is a public holiday, the bin trucks will instead collect rubbish on Easter Saturday. If residents are unsure about which day they need to put out their bins, the council advises them to use the My Local Services phone app. Alternatively, they can view the curbside collection calendar on council's website. South Australia has secured a spot on one of the world's top mining surveys. It's been ranked as one of the top jurisdictions in the world for investment in the latest Fraser Institute mining survey. SA was ranked 10th globally and was one of 2 Australian states to make the list, with Western Australia taking out top spot. Mining and Energy Minister Tom Koutsantonis has welcomed the ranking, saying it's testament to the bipartisan support the sector has received over numerous decades. The Broken Hill Book Company launched its first publication last night, an extended edition of a book written by a local author. Family and friends gathered for an intimate evening, which outlined the new work.
A beautiful autumn evening under the stars. The Railway Museum, the setting for last night's big launch. The poet happy to launch the new work in her hometown.
Obviously, it means a lot to me to be able to launch it here amongst friends and also fellow writers, so great.
She says the best part of re-releasing the book was adding 16 new poems. Also pleased to be publishing once again.
Just getting that feel for having something in something substantial in print again, and yeah, that was the main reason and the main enjoyment, I suppose.
Even with the new work on the shelves, Barbara won't be taking any time off, saying poets never do. She continues to write every day and takes pleasure out of being creative.
I just like to send poems off all over the world to see if I can get published, and I have been successful internationally, so I'll just keep doing that.
Renowned Sydney poet Les Wicks among those attending. He said that revisiting the book was like seeing an old friend again.
Barbara is a very special person and a very special writer. She's obviously well known in Broken Hill, but her name is known broadly as well.
As for his favourite poem, he doesn't have one, instead pointing out the images that get brought to life in the poems.
Maybe life is a fish. What a line. I mean, nobody else but Barbara could have written a line like that.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Aurora has never looked better after Rural Aid spent the week giving the town a much-needed makeover. More than 30 volunteers got involved to spruce up the fire shed, the Catholic church, a local swimming pool and the historical Solly's Hut. The volunteers also concreted the driveway at the golf club and installed new garden beds across the town. Aurora was one of 10 towns chosen for the $100,000 programme. Stay with us after the break. We check what's biting in the Gulf this weekend. And we'll have the long weekend weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. With Easter just around the corner, it's time to check what you can expect to catch when you drop a line in the Spencer Gulf over the long weekend. Here's our fishing experts with their tips.
G'day and welcome to this week's Fish Tips from Port Augusta, Geelong North. Well, it's Easter time and the squid have turned up. Out front on the jetties last night is the best time for catches, also drifting on the front of the shacks there as well. King George whiting can be caught at the moment, but there's still a few trumpets around hammering the baits and a few leatherjacks getting caught there as well. The whiting fishermen are also getting the odd flathead when they're trying for King George whiting as well. Crabs can still be caught, but you just got to take a little bit longer as well and try a little bit deeper. That's all we have for the Geelong North.
Hi, Whalers fishing tips this week. We got some really good weather coming in over Easter, so definitely a time to get amongst it. For land-based fishing across Whyalla, there's been some really nice silver whiting getting caught out on the Cowlards Landing area. From the local foreshore, there's been a few silvers there as well, and also a few mullet and small salmon trout with them. The local jetty, those willing to persist the time, have been getting good numbers of crabs. Definitely got to put the hard work in for them though. For the boaties, the good news is lots and lots of squid have been hitting the table. Most boats hitting bag limits in a very short amount of time, so get amongst those. Great chance for those.
Turning to the weather now, and Easter is shaping up to be a good one for getting outdoors. With a look at the all-important long weekend weather forecast, it's good evening to Alex Sykes.
That's right, John. The Easter break is looking like one to enjoy outside with mild and sunny conditions on their way. I'll have more details on that in just a moment, but let's first take a look at today's temperatures. From 3 p.m, Broken Hill was sunny and 27 degrees. Woodner was 19 with a few showers, Whyalla reached 24 degrees. Looking out across the region now, Port Augusta reached 28, Port Pirie was 26, Cooper Pedy was partly cloudy and 29, Kadina got to a top of 22, Port Lincoln had a shower or two and reached 20, and Adelaide was 24. Taking a look at the satellite image now, clouds stretching across western and southern South Australia with a trough is bringing showers and the odd storm. Mostly clear in the state's interior with dry and warm winds. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 1 to 1.5 metres, and the swell will be below a metre. A mild and partly cloudy Good Friday for the Eyre Peninsula tomorrow. Port Lincoln set to reach a max of 25 degrees. Cleve can expect 28 degrees and Woodner 31. Similar conditions further north, Whyalla expecting a top of 28 degrees. A warm 32 for Port Augusta and Kadina 39. Port Pirie will be partly cloudy and 31 degrees tomorrow. A little cooler in Clare, 28 expected there, and Broken Hill will be partly cloudy and 27 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, and a warm and sunny Easter Saturday is on the way for the region. Cooper Pedy expecting a sweltering 34 degrees. Kadina, Adelaide and Whyalla will all be 30. Port Pirie expecting 32, and Broken Hill will be sunny and 28. Partly cloudy conditions will roll in on Easter Sunday. Woodner will be 27, Port Lincoln 23, Port Augusta will be a warm 33, Broken Hill will top 31, and Cooper Pedy will be the region's warmest 35 forecast there. A little cooler on Monday, 27 in Port Pirie, showers and 25 for Kadina, Whyalla 24, Broken Hill expecting 29, and if you're in Adelaide it'll be 23 with a few showers. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. I hope you all have a safe and happy Easter and enjoy some well-deserved Easter egg treats and hot cross buns. It's back to you, John.
Thanks, Alex. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can follow us on social media at our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. I'm John Hunt. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back next Tuesday after the long weekend. Until then, have a safe, happy and holy Easter. Good night.